Hello everybody, it's me, your host, Chef James MacInnis, and here we are for another reaction video. This is going to be a nice short one. We're doing a Gordon Ramsay makes an all-American burger. Now, I want to let you know, this is not the first time I've seen a Ramsay family burger. There was about 6 or 7 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know. It was a few numbers of years ago when I first started on YouTube and I wasn't sure what to do. I did a couple cooking videos, didn't exactly know where to go, and while I was figuring it out, I thought, it'd be cool because my wife and I used to watch MasterChef all the time, and it was a season of MasterChef Junior.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Don't let the fact that those are kids fool you. They cook a lot better than most adults I know. So what I did that season was all their elimination challenges. That's what I did every week. I did like a follow along where whatever they did for elimination, that's what I did that week. And one of them was called the Tilly Burger, named after Gordon's daughter, Matilda. I'll leave links for that down below. It's a pretty darn good burger.
Now, the secret behind any great burger, of course, is in the colour, making sure you've got a nice, beautiful colour on that burger patty. Get that pan nice and warm. In we go. Again, season it. Salt and pepper.
Okay, so he's not showing you where the burger comes from. Did he make it? Probably. Could you do this with a store-bought burger? Yes, and that, I think, is why this is going to be a shorter video here. It's only 3 minutes long because he's not actually making a patty, and you can go deep into that topic. There are all kinds of videos on making the perfect burger. Heston Blumenthal has one. I think I've mentioned it before. I'll link that one down below too. It is absolutely interesting to watch Heston's mind as he dives through testing different cuts of meat to see what grinds better, what gives better flavor, even the different dyes on a grinder you have available. It's pretty interesting. You should give that a watch. Gordon is just using what looks to be a standard, 8-ounce patty, cooking it in his HexClad pans that he probably gets paid a boatload for to do this in. Hey, I hate to interrupt the video, but if you're getting any value out of this, could you please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment down below?
As that starts caramelizing, a little touch of butter in there just adds more and more flavor. Start off medium-high heat, turn it down, and use the remaining heat in that pan to continue cooking that burger beautifully. You can see that the actual pate is starting to caramelize. You only flip burgers once, okay? Have the confidence, use the pan, let the pan do the work, and get that beautiful color in there. I'm just going to give that a little base there. You can see what's happening.
So he's definitely basing it, giving it the treatment of something like a filet. It's just because it's a burger doesn't mean he's going to take shortcuts. I respect that.
Up and over. Look at that color. Touch more butter. And because I've got all that beautiful heat in the pan, look, I can get my onions in there and beautifully caramelize these onions. Season the other side of the burgers. Season the onions. Again, fresh pepper.
I like my onions raw. I'll notice he's using red onions. Red onions are the best raw onion. If I were doing this, I think I would swap out to a white onion if you're going to cook it.
And now this whole thing's starting to come together. Turn over my onions. Beautiful. The flavor and the smell is incredible. We're literally cooking the burger 2 minutes each side. I like my burgers just under medium. Before I put my cheese on, I like to season the burger again. Cheese on. Season the cheese. And again, one more.
He's using American cheese. At least I hope that that's American cheese. That is the best cheese for a burger. And it's an American burger in the title. If he's just using sliced cheddar, that's fine. But that processed American cheese has that pull factor, and the way that it melts without really melting on a burger is kind of what sets it off for me. I don't know if I'm necessarily down with the cheese getting its own salt. I think that might be going a little overboard, Gordon. Maybe 60 years of life on this planet is starting to, take a toll on your taste buds.
On top. And then from there, touch of fresh pepper. How do we melt that cheese properly? First of all, turn off the heat. Get your lid, stick that on top, and that will help melt that cheese beautifully. Set that to the side. And now for the exciting part. This is where we start to build this beautiful burger. My buns are being toasted, okay? So that's going to give me a little bit more crispiness on there as well. First of all, a little smear of mayonnaise, soft butter lettuce. Just don't slice it, just crack that open, let that sit nicely. Again, layer it up, touch of salt, touch of pepper, it goes a long way. Tomato on, I'm going to get a little touch of mustard, a beautiful Dijon mustard, and just rub that on the top part of my bun. And then from there, I need some acid. I got my pick.
See, now here's where he lost me. He put the salt on the lettuce. I like lettuce for its crispiness. He didn't put any salt on the tomato. I love salt on a tomato.
We are ready. Lid off. Look at that cheese. It's melted beautifully. You can still hear that cook taking place inside the pan. That's going to sit on top. And then finally, these onions, look at them. Caramelized beautifully. I just love the flavor. I just like to hit that with a touch of fresh pepper. And then, bang. Now come on. That is a burger to die for.
So just in case you aren't 100% sure, HexClad technology, any of that clad type nonstick, it's safe for use with metal. It has to, with metal utensils, has to do with the way that the pans are made, although apparently there is a little bit of Teflon in them, but it's a very small amount. So he doesn't eat it, he doesn't bite into it. You don't know if that burger is actually cooked perfect or not, so that's a bit of a letdown, Mr. Ramsay. I mean, we've seen you, shit the bed like your grilled cheese before. So I don't know if that's why on these smaller, shorter type videos, you're just not cutting into it. I mean, some people might cook their burger for, if that was all done in real time, some people might cook their burger for 2 minutes like you did and be quite pissed off that it's raw. Some people might be fine that it's raw, and some kids could get E. coli. You never know. That's always a risk you run when you eat undercooked ground beef. If you are going to undercook your ground beef, you should always know where it comes from. There are ridiculously loose standards on slaughterhouses and grinding meat. I know for a fact I don't know if it's still legal or not everywhere, but I used to go to this place in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, that served burgers as low as medium, which is rare in Canada, no pun intended. But the exception that was carved out for places that grind their own meat in-house. And that's why steaks are different than burgers, because on a steak, you have the loin, the whole strip loin, and you cut off steaks. Now, everything inside the muscle is considered safe, but we consider E. coli to be on the outside of the muscle. So when you cut it, right, if you cut the steaks off, you are introducing, with a knife, you are introducing the E. coli from the top as you cut through. But then you give it a sear. You sear it. So now everything on the inside of that cookedness is safe, and that's why it's safe to eat, rare meat, beef at least. With ground product, you have all of that outside kind of going in there, getting churned up. But the coli really comes from the digestive tract. So we consider it less risky if you're grinding your own meat, because you know that there's no organ meat. When you talk about industrial slaughterhouses, on the other hand, I don't know how many of you have watched Fast Food Nation, but I believe while watching that, I learned something like the industrial commercial grade grinders at these big plants that do ground beef. You can do something like 100,000 cows before they have to be taken apart and cleaned, which is just an astounding number. So that sounds like that thing never shuts off. Like it's just always got meat going through it. I would imagine it would be in a chilled, climate-controlled environment, so you wouldn't really be looking at spoilage that way. But like the time factor, like I'm wondering how long it takes to run that many cows through. Anyways, that's where I'll leave you. You have yourself a good afternoon, evening, or night, depending on what time of the day you're watching this. And we'll talk later. Until next week, I've been Chef James.